It was just past noon, and Ellie's grill was buzzing with people. The smell of grilled cheese and fried chicken filled the air. Plates clattered, soda fizzed, and customers chatted over lunch. But something wasn't right. Not anymore. Outside, the diner, a man stood across the street in a hoodie and cap. His hands were in his pockets. His eyes were fixed on the red neon sign that read, Ellie's Grill. The sign blinked unevenly, one flicker, then another. The man took a deep breath. His name was Darius Ellington, the owner of the diner, but no one inside knew that. He zipped up his hoodie and crossed the street. Inside, the bell over the door jingled. No one looked up. Darius walked slowly to the counter. He watched. He listened. The girl behind the register, Marina, was tapping her nails on the counter and chewing gum loudly. Ugh, not the meatloaf again, she whispered to the other cashier, Kendall, who rolled her eyes. Right. And who names a diner after their grandma? Anyway, Kendall laughed. Ellie's Grill. Sounds like a grandma ghost is going to pop out with pancakes. They both giggled. Darius stood quietly in line, his heart sinking. A few customers ahead, a young man tried to ask a question. Excuse me, he said softly. Does the chicken sandwich come with fries? Marina didn't even look at him. It's on the board, she snapped. Kendall smirked. Read much? The young man looked down, embarrassed. Darius clenched his fists in his hoodie pocket. These girls weren't just being rude. They were tearing down everything Ellie's Grill was meant to be. Ellie was his grandmother, the heart of the diner. She started it 40 years ago with love, kindness, and a pot of chicken soup. She believed in second chances, especially for people no one else wanted to hire. Folks from shelters, people with tough pasts. She'd say, everyone deserves a clean plate and a clean slate. That was Ellie. That was the soul of the diner. And now, Darius looked at the wall. There it was. The photo of Ellie smiling with flour on her nose. Right under it, the staff laughed at her dream. Darius Ellington thinks he's some kind of hero, Marina whispered. Hiring all these sad cases from the shelter, please. That place is just a charity case pretending to be a diner. Darius froze. They were mocking him too, right to his face. They didn't know, they didn't care. He turned slowly, walked out. The door jingled again behind him, but this time it sounded sad. Outside, the wind felt cold. Darius leaned against the wall by the kitchen window. He needed air, he needed time to think. Then he heard voices from the kitchen. I still believe in Ellie's dream, said a voice. It was Reggie, the grill master. He had been with the diner for 5 years. Darius leaned in closer. Man, this place gave me a shot when nobody else would, Reggie said. I used to sleep in my car. Ellie, God rest her soul, she looked me in the eye and said, you're hired. Now go make me proud. And I did. I still do. Marina's voice came back, sharp and cold. Whatever, Reggie. That was the past. This place is a joke now. You don't mean that, Reggie said quietly. Oh, I do, she snapped. And if Darius showed up today, I'd tell him straight to his face. Darius stepped back, heart pounding. So now he knew. Some of the staff still believed. Others, they had lost their way. And maybe he had too. He hadn't been around much. Lately, too many meetings, too many emails. He thought he could trust the team to carry the torch, but Ellie's flame was fading, and it was his fault too. He couldn't sleep that night. He sat in his kitchen, staring at the old recipe book Ellie had written by hand. Each page had food stains, scribbled notes, and love. Real love. He flipped to the first page. It said, feed their stomachs, but don't forget to feed their hearts. Ellie Darius shut the book and stood up. It was time to feed some hearts again. The next morning, the staff of Ellie's Grill found an unexpected note on the door. Mandatory staff meeting, 8 p.m. sharp, no excuses. Signed, Darius Ellington, Yee. Staff walked in slowly, confused, tired, whispering. Kendall whispered to Marina, "What's this about?" "I don't know. Probably Reggie whining again," Marina muttered. Then the door opened. In walked the man in the hoodie and cap. He stood in front of them, then slowly pulled back his hood. Gasps, whispers. A fork clattered to the floor. "Darius," Kendall whispered. Darius looked around the room. His face was calm, but his eyes burned with truth. "Yes," he said, "it was me. I was here yesterday. I saw everything. I heard everything." Darius stood in front of the staff, the same people who just yesterday laughed behind his back. Some looked away, others looked frozen. No one knew what to say. He didn't yell, he didn't scream, he just breathed in deeply and spoke. "I came here yesterday," he said, "in disguise. I sat right here. I waited in line. I listened." Kendall's face turned pale. Marina crossed her arms and rolled her eyes. Darius looked straight at her. "I heard the things you said, Marina, about me, about this place, about my grandmother." The room was quiet. So quiet, you could hear the hum of the fridge in the back. Darius's voice was calm, but it shook with pain. "My grandmother Ellie started this place with love. She fed people who couldn't pay. She gave jobs to people others called worthless. She believed every person deserves a chance." He turned toward Reggie. "And I heard you too, Reggie. You spoke up for this place. You remembered what it stood for. Thank you." Reggie nodded quietly, eyes shiny. Darius looked at everyone again. "Some of you forgot what this diner is all about. And maybe I did too. I've been gone too much. I let this place slip. That's my mistake." He took a deep breath. "But starting today, things change." Everyone leaned in. "You all have a choice," Darius said. "You can stay and help bring Ellie's Grill back to life, or you can leave today with your final paycheck, no questions asked." Kendall's eyes widened. "Wait, what?" "You heard me," Darius said. "This isn't just a place to flip burgers and count tips. This is a place where people find hope again." Silence filled the room. Finally, Marina spoke up. "So what? You're giving us a lecture now? You think you can just walk in here and scare us straight?" "No," Darius said, his voice firm. "I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to remind you. If you don't care about what this place means, then it's better you go." Marina stared at him. Then she laughed, cold and empty. "You know what?" she said. "You're right, I don't care. This place isn't for me, never was." She grabbed her bag and stormed out the door. No one stopped her. Kendall blinked hard. "I didn't mean to. I was just—" "You can stay," Darius said, gently. "But if you stay, you must change." Kendall's lips trembled. "I want to try," Darius nodded. "Then show me." The rest of the staff stood quietly. One by one, they nodded. They would stay. They would try again. The next day felt different. Kendall came in early. She wiped down all the tables before anyone else arrived. She even brought flowers for the counter, Reggie noticed. "Nice touch," he said. Kendall smiled softly. "I owe this place more than I knew." Darius stood in the doorway watching. He felt something warm stir inside him. Maybe it wasn't too late. Maybe Ellie's Grill could still come back. By the end of the week, things were moving fast. Darius had meetings with each staff member. He listened to their ideas. He shared his hopes. He even added a new chalkboard to the wall that said, "Ellie's Promise, every guest feels seen, every staff feels proud." Then came Monday morning. Darius stood near the front door, greeting customers like his grandma used to do. "Good morning," he smiled. "Welcome to Ellie's." People looked surprised, but happy. An older lady said, "You know, it feels warmer in here than it used to." Darius grinned. "That's the plan." Back in the kitchen, Reggie trained a new hire. A young man named Isaiah, just 18, shy and quiet. "Grab that spatula," Reggie said. "We're making Ellie's famous French toast." Isaiah nodded. "Okay, chef," Reggie laughed. "Nah, just call me Reggie." Kendall walked by and gave Isaiah a thumbs up. "You're doing great," she said. Isaiah smiled for the first time. Later that day, during the lunch rush, something beautiful happened. A little girl dropped her lemonade. It spilled all over the floor. In the past, Marina would have rolled her eyes, but today, Kendall rushed over with a towel and a new drink. "Don't worry, sweetie," she said with a smile. "Accidents happen." The little girl giggled. Her mom looked shocked. "Thank you," she said. "This place feels so different now." Darius watched it all from behind the counter. His heart felt full. That evening, after closing time, the staff gathered around. Reggie made burgers for everyone. They laughed, they talked, they felt like a family again. Darius raised his glass of sweet tea. "To Ellie," he said. "To Ellie," they all echoed. Weeks passed. The smell of warm biscuits and fresh coffee once again floated through Ellie's grill every morning. The tables were always clean. The windows sparkled. The staff, smiling, kind, helpful. Customers who had once stopped coming slowly returned. New people found the diner too, curious about the change. One of them was a tall man with silver hair and a soft smile. He sat in a corner booth and quietly watched. Everything. Reggie noticed him. "You good, sir?" he asked. The man nodded. "Better than good. This place, it reminds me of the old days." Reggie smiled. "That's the best thing I've heard all day." Inside the kitchen, Isaiah moved quickly. He flipped pancakes like a pro. He chopped onions without crying, most days. Reggie patted his back. "Told you you'd get the hang of it." Isaiah beamed. "I never thought someone like me could fit in somewhere like this." "You do," Reggie said, "and you're not the only one." One cold morning, Kendall showed up with a new idea. She held up a flyer she made with bright colors and bold letters. "Warm meals, warmer hearts," it said. "We could give out free meals every Sunday evening to people from the shelters," she said, "just like Ellie used to." The room got quiet. Then Reggie clapped, then Isaiah, then everyone. Darius stared at the flyer. His eyes watered. He nodded slowly. Ellie would be proud of this. On the first Warm Meals Sunday, the diner was full. Not with customers who could pay, but with people who couldn't. And yet, it felt richer than ever. Kids laughed as they sipped hot cocoa. Old men thanked Reggie for his chili. Isaiah handed out plates with care, saying, "Enjoy this, you matter." One woman whispered to Kendall, "Thank you. I haven't eaten a real meal in 2 days." Kendall almost cried, but instead she smiled. "You're always welcome here." Darius stood behind the counter and watched it all. His chest swelled. This was the heart of Ellie's grill. That night, after the last dish was washed and the chairs were stacked, Darius walked outside. The diner's old neon sign flickered. Above him, ELLIESGRILL. Some letters blinked, others glowed strong, just like the people inside. Not perfect, but shining. As he turned to go back in, he noticed something on the door, a folded piece of paper taped gently to the glass. He peeled it off and opened it. It was handwritten, a little shaky, but clear. "Dear Ellie's Grill, today, I came in for the first time in months. I had lost my hope, but today I saw kindness again. Your staff smiled at me. They served with love. It felt like the old days, when Ellie herself brought out the pie. Thank you for finding your heart again." A grateful customer, Darius held the note close to his chest. He didn't know who wrote it, but he knew why they did. Because something magical had returned to the diner. Not just the people, not just the food, but the soul. Inside, Kendall and Isaiah were laughing as they mopped the floor. Reggie sang an old gospel song, off-key but full of joy. And somewhere, maybe from the past, maybe from heaven, Darius could almost hear his grandmother Ellie laughing too. Proud. That night, before closing the diner, Darius picked up a marker and walked to the chalkboard. Under Ellie's promise, he added one more line. "No matter how dark it gets, We will always turn the light back on." Then he stood back and smiled.